It's been 1 month since I moved into sterling ink inserts. They were launched for 2026, but I moved in early by redating for 2025. I really am enjoying it. There are two little issues that I'll discuss. The cool thing about inserts is I've been able to finally use the freebie that Sterling Ink provides every month. They send an email out to everyone on their email list with the files in different sizes, and I chose the N2 size, the weeks size, and then I had to cut down a little bit, but I was able to make this fit. And then I use a clip so that I just printed this on normal paper with a color laser printer and punched it. And then I'm able to clip it onto my week so that I can just open it up. I'm not someone who has a lot of dashboards, pretty minimalistic. And I'm so excited to put in November. This is November's. I've just printed out everything that has been released so far. And this is so pretty. And December is even more exciting, but I'm going to try not looking at it. I may have to cut this down a little more. I think I kept this at the week size. So I'm going to stick that in now as I prepare for this week. Having redated, I have had to adjust to a Sunday start rather than a Monday start, which is not as difficult in writing. I won't be able to clip this until I fix it, so I'm just going to leave that there. But I'll have to cut that down. That's something I didn't do when I printed them. So pretty though. Catherine is so talented. There's so much AI out there these days. It's so refreshing to have something that's just totally hand-drawn. So I'm using a Waterman Carene. I have, what ink do I have? Oh yeah, Montblanc Midnight Blue in here. So it's actually just getting in the habit of planning on a Sunday instead of planning ahead of time for Sunday. You can see I should have taken this out of the rings, being a bit lazy. And I did not like this pen for a really long time. The nib it's very inconsistent, and sometimes it's a medium nib. I think I've just got to leave that, and that's okay. It's my everyday. I don't really mind that there's glitches. But the nib has been so nice on this paper. It doesn't dry out as it did before, so it makes me think it was not the nib. It was the paper or the combination, as is so often the case in the fountain pen world. As I say that, it seems to be doing the same thing. Oh well. Now, what I've started doing is I try to use the same pen during the week to make it less kind of overwhelming, but I put in my regular items go down here. When I first tried it out, I was doing it across the top, but I find my eye is drawn to the top as I'm looking through. So this side, I do things that are just every week and I don't have to think about it. And Sunday, because I've been planning on Mondays, as I am today, I've been leaving this blank for a full to-do list, overview kind of space for myself. But I obviously prefer to be planning on those Sundays. So that's basically my week setup. This is an Pilot E95S, and it has just a Namiki Blue cartridge in it, fine nib. And again, I find it's a little too fine on the Tomoe River paper, so I really liked it on this paper. And the other one that I don't have, I've loaned it to someone, is a Sailor that I really didn't like the nib. It was in a medium, 1911S, and that has been just so beautiful on this paper. It's totally made me think twice about that pen. So that's been really nice. And then I can go through this now, but as I mentioned, I turned the page here for retrospective entries, and I just put in, things that happen that I might need to refer back to. So it's easy. The good thing is it's easier to kind of do it without bumping into the rings, but also I like that it doesn't jump out at me because I don't need to look at the retrospective stuff unless I'm searching for it. This is a Montblanc homage to Mozart in a medium nib. So this, I think it's called the 114 in the Meisterstuck line. It's a tiny pen, but it fits in the actual, it's designed to fit in there in the loop of a planner. So probably a lot of this is still wet. This pen was very juicy. It's still juicy. I've put Robert Oster Australis Rose in here, and that's a dry ink, which has also been very dry on Tomoe River to the point that it stops writing this pen, even though the converter's full. So I think this paper is better, but I've just switched over that. So just looking through some of my past entries, I'm going to hold this back a little. I'm going to zoom out. You see, it's all, I'll just explain. This is my DIY landscape monthly. I typed it up on my typewriter. I have used printer paper because I was just trying it out, but I tried the plotter style pockets. So I actually have, this is housing a bunch of other notes in here that you can see, so that you can just take it as I can pull out October's scratch notes, and I think I've got some future planning on the back. I do want to reprint this, at least for next month if I don't get to it, in fountain pen friendly paper, because it's all feathering, as expected. So this was the first week I started out. I found the colours, there was too many colours, and everything being horizontal was harder to read in the moment because I had items across the top. And then the second week I tried out, I think towards the end, writing the to-do list. So I would use this as a daily as well as a retrospective logging. So you can see, I think with a single pen or a single colour, it's a little easier for me to navigate. Otherwise, I'm not sure what's more important. These were like kind of overall weekly to-dos because I hadn't planned in time on Sunday. And then this was logging, and you can see that it goes different directions because I turn the book in the way that allows me to write without having the rings interfere. But I do like the rings for being able to move things around. And so I think I like having my weeklies up here. These are special things for the week. These are things that we do every week, but I do like writing it down because I can see a conflict. And then across here, I work my way up with my daily to-do list. And I really love how I can fit all of that in a way that's sensible on this page. So I think it's a great design. I have little things like the weathers up the top for me. I found with different colors, this is the Sailor Pen 1911S. It made it a little too busy for my liking. I'm just trying to get in closer because you can see a lot of the smudging. And the same here, there's a lot of transfer. So the paper's nice and thick. There's no ghosting that is bothersome. However, I definitely noticed fingerprints, and that was something that I think you can see here under Thursday. There's that little gap in the writing. There's a lot of, you might see it around the place that there's transfer. It was actually clearer last week. Here again. And so it definitely messes up the aesthetic. If it was a memory keeper, I think I would not be as happy. Here's another example of the fingerprints. You can see that is, I think, also transfer from here. So it ends up looking quite messy. I do have blotter paper that I slip in, but that is something I've noticed here. I had creased it putting it through the typewriter and decided no more typewriter. And then I think it was nicer with the single pen, so I know not to look at that. That's retrospective, and I know these are my daily lists. I do love the layout. I think this is so clever. I love that I have my weekly, basically really condensed. I have my daily logs all on one spread, and then I even have my retrospective logging in a way that is separate. So I've been really enjoying that. The other thing is I do sense that I don't want to be precious about my paper, but I do sense that I think I can imagine myself feeling some kind of desire to switch out of this at some point in the year. And so I'm really happy actually that I figured out that I have this this current year 2025 that I can redate, and it'll be ready to go that same week when I reach this part of my 2026 inserts, which I have used ahead of time. I can jump back into this, which was the part 2 of the A5 vertical common planner. I'm a sucker for sales, so this was on sale, or they Sterling Ink released the second part only halfway through the year, and it was a nice time to start fresh for me. I had been in a B5, which is also available, but probably going to be for work. It's a little too big for me. So I'm excited that I can come back into this, and then I don't feel like it's such a waste. There's still plenty of blank pages left. And these blank pages for sure, because they've got this gold edge, I am anyway planning to use that in my personal rings and cut it down if I don't use it in the book. But I'm really happy that it won't go to waste, and that is I really want to hold myself to not jumping out of this and buying something new. I would like to use this up before I do that. This was an everyday, and then if I want to go into rings at some point during that time, I also have this. This is all ready to go, and even pre-punched because I was using it as personal rings. This is an A6 Hightide planner, and I've pulled it apart, and it's been well loved. It was used for a year, so I don't feel as guilty about this one. It was used for exactly a year before I jumped ship, and so I feel like I've, the 2 extra months a bonus for me. But if I want to put different paper that's still in a ring format, I can do that. So I'm happy about my plans for next year. I think I've got my backup plan in built. Of course, if something gets released, I'm going to have to resist temptation, but I was proud of myself for resisting the 5-year planner, which is very much my style. I think the hardcover release that's been new for this season in the 5-year is the perfect memory keeper. So that was hard work for me, but there is something about having everything, all the 5 years together in real time. So I think that's nice too.